Hey everyone, wanted to come down here and get a video on the river while it was sunny out. It was a beautiful day here in Michigan this morning, and somehow I managed to perfectly time my arrival with the sun going behind the clouds just as I got here. So I guess we'll do the best we can with what we got. Okay, so what do we got going on today? Well, we're back to the spot where I got that nice flake last weekend and the nice garnet, and we're finding chunks of pyrite. I wanted to point something out just after Christmas here, and some of you may have gotten a new gold pan for Christmas. Don't just bring that right out to the field, right? And there's some reasons why. Let me show you. So I have two pans here. The one on the left is fairly new, and the one on the right is Old Faithful. So this new pan, if I put some water in it like this, see how it's all beading off like the pan was waxed? That means there's still a bunch of oil in that pan. So that pan wouldn't be a good pan to use the way it is. You want to wash that with like some Dawn soap to get the grease out. And then I actually take steel wool and just rough the pan up as much as you can. And then when you bring it out here, throw some rocks in it, scrub it around, really beat it up. The little scratches, hopefully it shows up. You know, these scratches down here in the bottom, that'll hold the gold. The gold will stick there, and the black sand will just keep peeling right off. So yeah, I always like to use an old pan versus a new pan. Eventually I'll break that one in, right, and I'll have a backup just in case something happens to my other one. All right, so I'm going to dig right in here again where I was finding that pay dirt before. I'm going to fill up that 5-gallon pail with some pay dirt after I classify it, and then we'll run it through some pans, see what we get today. Okay, so what I've been doing for the last 20 minutes, I've been digging along this bank, and I've been putting all the material into this screener. And you can see I got a little 5-gallon pail under there. Gives me a chance to check my rocks for fossils, and anything smaller than a 1/2 inch goes through and goes into that bucket. I kind of know I'm getting close to the bottom of where I want to be, because finding these pieces of clay, and that's a good thing, because when I get down to that, that's really hard stuff, and it acts like a bedrock. The gold can't get through that. So hopefully we got some gold laying on top of it, and it's in our bucket. I'm going to take a few-minute break, and then we're going to start panning out of that bucket and see what we find. So the good stuff always happens right as I turn the camera off. I was cleaning out that screen, and I found this little guy, little brachiopod. Pretty cool. It's actually pretty good. This tip's a little busted off, but not a bad specimen at all. Found another, I don't know exactly what creatures those are, but it's a little segment of probably shale where they died and laid down and got fossilized. Found some glass. Always take that out of the river. This is a Petoskey stone. It's a pretty bad specimen, but kind of neat. I found it here in the river. Usually don't find those here. Usually they find them up like in Lake Huron and Lake Michigan. It's an ancient coral. I don't remember how many millions of years old it is, but yeah, well, one of my first Petoskey stones, so that's cool. This one, I don't know, it just really interested me. It's like a quartz, but it's got a lot of mineralization going on with it. I want to take it back home and run the metal detector over it and see if it's worth smashing up. This one's a pretty mineralized rock too. I'm pretty sure there's nothing in there, but it was cool looking. Looks like another piece of Petoskey stone. This one's in really, really bad shape, but definitely something different. This, another rock they find on Lake Huron all the time. I was surprised to find it here in the river. This is a pudding stone. You can see the piece of jasper right there. Another one right there. Little piece there. This is formed by the Ice Age. I believe it's called a conglomerate rock, where all the weight of the ice just kind of pressed all this material together and made this stone. And another little piece of coral, kind of like I found last week. See, I found a use for that pan that's new and didn't have much purpose for me today. Alright, well, I'm going to pour that water out and start panning out the material in there, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so I poured the water off. Looks like I got about 4.5 gallons of material. Get the pan here. Put about 3 scoops in there. You don't want to overload your pan, especially when you're starting out. That looks about the right amount. Well, I'm going to plop my butt down right there, use that river, and pan this out. And if I find something interesting, I'll turn the camera back on. So I've worked quite a bit of this bucket down. There's probably less than a gallon left. There's been 4 little specks of gold in there. I keep panning them down to that. I make the gold go up into the corner, and then wash the black sand out, and then I just throw some more pay dirt in there. But I did stop. Found another little garnet. I always like these things. It's not a real big one by any means, but it's really neat to find. So somebody was asking me, what do I do with my garnets? Well, I have this little jar here that I keep them in. There's some red ones in there, some pink ones. There's a couple of white ones. I think they're probably quartz. But there's a possibility that they're topaz that's been bleached out from the sun, because it will do that. Anyways, I'm just keeping them in a little bottle here. I'm going to put that garnet in there, and I'm going to continue to roll this pan back. So I put a little more water in that jar so you can see those garnets a little better. There's quite a few of them in there. There's some red ones, some pink ones, even a couple of orange ones in there. I don't think they're really worth much, but really cool to find, and eventually when that jar gets full, that'll be kind of nice. I like them. You ever wonder what happens to a claim jumper? I'll show you. Gross. Well, I'm no gynecologist, but I'm pretty sure that's the remains of a deer. Obviously, you got a little too close to somebody's gold claim. This is what it's all about, folks. Getting out here, connecting with nature, or what used to be nature. So yeah, get off that couch. Get out. Punched a bunch of holes along this inside turn here, and really didn't find much. Just some flower gold, some micro poop. Anyways, it's starting to snow. I wouldn't write this off as a bad trip by any means. I just chalk it up that I found some spots not to go to, and that just opens up other parts of this river, right? So that's prospecting. It's not always about getting a bunch of gold. It's about getting outside, really. Well, it is January in Michigan. There's some of that frozen sunshine we're so famous for. All in all, not a bad day. Tried a few spots out. Some worked out, some didn't. None of it was really great gold today. Mostly just micro stuff. Hey, but that's prospecting, right? The main thing is to get outside, connect with nature, and clean up the river a little bit. I did pull some glass out of the river and a couple pieces of lead. That's always a good thing. I was crossing the river back there. It was getting pretty deep. It was just about up to my butt, and I didn't notice, but there was a guy walking on the trail, and he yells out to me. He says, "Hey, are you crazy?" And I got to thinking, well, it's 33 degrees out, starting to snow. I'm standing in water up to my butt that's probably about 33, 34 degrees. Heck, it was just froze 2 weeks ago. And yeah, am I crazy? I'm also panning for gold in a state that's not known for gold. And I'm talking to a camera. So, no, I think I'm fine. I think he's the one that's crazy. Anyways, this is Prospector Paul. I'm out. Please, if you like this video, hit the like button. Please subscribe. And you have a great day. Bye.